Yep, I'm recording.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to set the breakout rooms. If you have changed your mind and you secretly want a different room now, let me know, but I'm going to go ahead and make the same assumptions. Adam was advanced. You were advanced, right?
That's correct.
I mean, I'm teaching today, so if you want to jump ship, it's fine. Or if you want to leave William and come hang out with me, also fine.
It's tempting, but I've been hanging out with you in office hours, so we'll see.
That's fair. That's fair.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember. I think Jeremy Robb was with the beginners. I'll put Tim Cluthy with the advanced today. Jill Co. Sorry, I'm clicking as fast as I can, folks. Oh, that's Josh Tubbs, Pranav, Sarah Larkin, Steve Rabarelli, Tim Cluthy, Tim Lockwood, Timothy, Travis Lawrence. Oh, you were in Lerner. That's right. Tyler, Linder, and William. Okay. In theory, I think I've got them all. So I'm opening the rooms now. Oh, I got to move myself. Okay. All right. I will speak to you all later.
Send me in advance, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Mm-mm. You've been downgraded.
He has not. He is amazing.
Thanks.
Well, I don't want to deal with her today anyway.
I'm leaving.
I like Mike better. It's fine.
Hush.
Mike actually fixed stuff in my building. What do you do?
I fix stuff too, but you don't see it.
If you need
You break stuff.
That's you.
No, I drop stuff. There's a difference. All right, guys, give me just a second because I'm looking something up on my computer.
Oh, and just so you know, Amanda, I was finally able to re-download Quorum Studio 2.0.1 successfully after figuring out there was some files that were left on the computer after the uninstall that I had to go manually delete. It was just like a big runaround, but I finally have it up and I actually have a map now, but I am a little behind from yesterday.
We'll get you caught up. It's all right.
Okay.
And I'm kind of at the same point too.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as well. This is Gina. I had to switch computers and I'm at home instead of work where Travis and I have been working together. So we'll see what happens.
So who's not behind? Let's go on that list.
Feel free to pick on Travis, Amanda.
So I'm up to date with what we did yesterday, but I'm still at 2.1.0 because it keeps giving me errors. So I think I'm having the same problem other people were having with upgrades.
So I found I was getting that error because my firewall was so tight, it wasn't letting anything through. So I actually had to, this was terrible. I had to disable my firewall, re-download, and then bring my firewall back up because it just would not let Quorum through.
Okay, yeah, hopefully that's not the case with us because we don't have access to our firewall, really.
Weird glare going on.
I'm on a school laptop.
And I tried to get my IT guy to let me download it on my school laptop, and he's like, no, you have to bring it into the district office and we'll do it. I'm like, you can't just remote in and do your password. And he's like, no. I'm like, fine. I'll make it work on my home ancient machine.
All right. So we're a hit and miss of whether we're up to date or not. That seems fine to me. I need to find the lesson. Placing objects is what we're supposed to be doing first today. All right. Share screen. Let's just share the whole screen so when I flip to other weirdness, you can see it. So well, this one's placing characters. Do we already have characters on the screen?
We do. And also, Amanda, wherever you go, can you like quickly Alt-D and copy and then paste it into the chat so we can all quickly go there? We placed characters, we're moving them today.
Oh, awesome. So we're straight in movement today.
Yep.
Thank you.
I
Let's make it.
don't have a character yet.
You don't have a. All right, so let's back up and do some characters real fast. And I will remember how to navigate as a teacher in this place. So this is the current lesson, and I am notorious for writing lessons and not using them. So I've written or edited or whatever 95% of the lessons on the Quorum website, and I've used probably 10 in 7 years from start to finish. So forgive me if I jump around a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and actually put my game up real fast. So I have a map.
Mhm.
And I have placed a couple of objects on my map, and I have placed a couple of characters on my map. So if you were able to make your map, placing characters and objects is the same process. You would navigate over to your palette screen, and you can go up to characters and pick a boy or a girl if you want a human character. In Dungeon 2D, there are some monsters. I've chosen monsters for both of my characters. Yes.
I'm sorry. Do you mind, Amanda, if as you are referring to, we are going to go to the palette or we are going to go to this, will you give us the shortcut keys?
Sure.
To
So
navigate, so I can start to take notes. So if a person, I'm not using the screen reader, but if my student will be using the screen reader, I would love to know that.
Sure.
Thank you.
So Control 1 navigates you. So there's, and I'll just back up a step to make sure everybody understands kind of my thoughts of what the screen looks like. Okay. Since Andy and I teach a little differently, right? So our main Quorum screen it's really 3 panes, but you really only use 2 of them at a time. There's a long pane on the left-hand side that has your project, scene, and palette tabs. I often call that the project window because before we started using scenes, the only thing that really lived there was the projects. The other pane that we have is where your files actually open. So right now I have both my text main.quorum file and my scene file on my right-hand pane. So the projects window is Control 1 to navigate there. Your editor window that will have your text code or your palette, your scene, is Control 2. And that will let you toggle between those 2 panes, which I usually use for most things, I use the keyboard for this because drag and drop on these itty bitty little squares is annoying. So if I do Control 1 and I'm over in my projects window, I was already focused on my palette tab, but you can Control Tab to go through the project, scene, and palette tab. I'm going to choose Dungeon 2D, just using arrow keys. And I'm going to put a smaller monster on my screen right now just to show. So I have opened the monster tree. And wow, I'm going to make my screen bigger because those are tiny. Control plus and Control minus will, and as we learned the other day with art, it's not actually Control shift to make a plus sign. It's really Control equals. That key makes it larger and smaller, right? I'm going to pick a monster. Let's see, let's just pick this green guy at the bottom. I've highlighted him. I hit enter. He has popped up on my scene palette or my scene screen, scene editor. Kind of in the middle. He's in a blue square at the moment of water. because that's the last place my cursor was while I was building my game. If I had a screen reader running, it would have told me his position as he popped in. Everybody with me so far?
Yeah.
Yep.
I could move him around with my arrow keys to put him where I think I might want his starting position to be. And for him to be placed there, just like with our background tiles, I'm going to use my enter key. He now exists in this square. If I want another one, he's still selected. So I now have a second one running around my screen right now. And I'm going to choose to stick him up here. Why not? He can be on this little island of green. I hit enter. He's now selected there. And then I
So
can do...
what, the key to move it is the arrow key? Are you moving it with the arrow keys?
Yes, arrow
Okay.
keys move everything.
Okay.
And then I'm going to just go back Control 1, and it pops me back over to my palette and the last place I was focused on. So it's still on this little monster that I had, and I can use arrow keys to either go back up and pick a different monster, go back down, whatever we want to do monster-wise or character-wise. Everybody have the steps for a character.
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome.
I have characters and I have I have the building blocks for Moomer, or at least I'm trying to make the building blocks for it. But when I added a keyboard listener, at least this is where I think it started. So I had a problem. I now basically have a compiler error where
Yes.
basically the error system is kind of unreliable because the actual error that Quorum reports is the end of the script. It's the actual end line of the script, and it says erroneous input or something like that. And I really don't know how to fix these.
So as soon as I know everyone has a couple of characters and a couple of objects on their map, we will hop on over to keyboard listener and movement. So if you'll just hang out just another second, we'll get everybody through those errors. Is that cool?
Amanda, just a question. In regards to the characters, I noticed that visually, like when you put like a person, a boy or a girl, they are so tiny that it's impossible to identify even almost what it is. Would you go, this is a question, could a person go and open change the scale of the character while you are positioning it on the tile, or is best not to do that?
That is perfectly fine. So if I go Control 2, so I'm now in my, hang on, I gotta be back in Quorum. Control 2, and I'm in my scene editor. And I have highlighted one of my characters. I hit enter to select it. And if you're looking at my screen, a big yellow box just showed up. Because in this tile, my character is sitting on top of a water tile, right? So the computer doesn't know which object I want. My property window currently says that it is the water that I'm on. It would also auditorily tell you this. You can do Control P to check out your property window at any time. Tab now flips my property window to whatever the heck this gentleman is called, because I have too many screens open. Tusked monster with blah, 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 blah. And I can do Control P and go to my monster, and in the properties window, it's tabbable. So I have my name and I can rename it. I have position of X, Y, and Z. And then I have scale, and it's scale X and then scale Y. Default scale is 1, which means it's just the size that it is. If I change both of those to 2, my monster is now much larger. I hit escape to hop back out of my property window. And you can see now, instead of taking up like a probably 16 by 16 cell, he's now taking up 32 by 32. and he's much larger. Does that explain that
Okay.
feature to
Yes,
everyone?
yes, and when you were in the when you were in the control panel, in the control P, property, so you went control P to open that property, and then you went tab to go to the name.
Yeah, so the minute I hit control P, it pops me into name. That is its first focused editor. Mhm.
Okay, so is the default is the name.
Yes.
Okay.
So are we
And
all?
then from there, if you change the name, do you have to put enter, or you just keep putting tab, tab, tab?
Tab.
Okay.
If I hit enter, it changes what it does sometimes, quite honestly. Shift tab works through this menu as well if I want to back up. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Are we good with these ideas right now? So I'm going to give everybody a half a second to make sure you have a character on your screen. And if you could just either verbally or thumbs up or whatever to let me know that you're on that step, that'd be great. I know Art already has his. Josh, are you in this room? Who is the one that comes up as Orin 872?
Yeah, that's me. I don't
All right,
know why.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Travis, Earl, Ethan, Gina, you guys all have characters. Oh, Jill's in here. Jill, did you want to be in the learner track or the advanced track, dear? Are you actually there, Jill? You're muted. Maybe she's just hanging out. Okay, she'll yell at me if she needs to. She's a big girl. She can do those things.
Amanda, I got so I placed 2 monsters and I wanted to get rid of one. Is it difficult to delete because when I tried to do that, Quorum crashed? So I'm restarting it right now. What is the proper way to delete?
To delete things? Sure, let's go over that because I think that's a couple lessons away and it's in a silly place because we've all made mistakes and we'd like to delete things.
Thank you.
So we found that there's like about 8 different ways to delete things off this. What I have found to be the easiest one, okay, is if we use Control-2 to make sure that you're in your scene editor. And you can either click on a character or you can use your mouse, right? Or use your mouse. No, use your arrow keys to find something. So I have a log over here, and let's say I want to delete my log. So I hit enter to select that square. And then from here, I need to either listen or look at my properties window to make sure I've selected the right object. Because in this square, I have both dirt and the log. So right now I've focused on dirt. I want to delete the log. I hit tab to select the log. And then you simply hit your delete key, maybe, and escape. And it's going to lie to me today. Great. Maybe I had 2 logs in one spot, which is entirely possible. We're going to try that again. Enter. Log.
The process worked for me last night. So you're describing what I did, what you taught me.
Yeah, and I think I just found another bug because I am highlighted on the square. It has selected dirt 46. I hit tab, and I don't come up with a log, but I can see the log.
I just selected it and hit delete and it worked perfectly.
Yeah, you could also just click and hit delete. But I'm thinking, so I can still see a log on my screen.
Arrow to it and just hit delete. Arrow to it and then just hit delete, or click on it and just hit delete.
Ah, there he is. No, it's not.
See,
It's
mine
not deleting.
highlights though. Mine highlights.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah, I think I have a bug on my end.
Oh dear. I already found a couple
Looks
bugs.
like you got it.
Yeah, and now it's gone. Okay. It just took it a minute. So
Maybe
it had
with Zoom
deleted
running,
it.
it took a while to refresh the screen.
I think that might have, I'm not running it, but I think the Quorum Studio might have taken a while. Yes. Because it was like a ghost log hanging out.
I wonder maybe the Zoom had something to delay the process visually.
That is possible. You are correct. Okay, so that's deleting things. Does that help? Clear as mud?
Yeah, well, yeah, it works.
Yeah.
I think there's a processing delay, and I zoom in and out a lot, so that might have been part of the issue.
Yeah, you can also do Control-1 and go to your scene tab. So it would be Control tabbing till you get to your scene. And on that tree, you have items, as well as some characters that will show up. You can delete from this list as well. The problem with that, if I want to delete a specific item, one, I have got like 800 grass going on here, right? I have grass 496. I don't know which one is grass 496 if I'm just looking at the name of it. So it can be hard for that. If I do know, okay, I had logs and I want to take away all my logs, I could go down to the word log and delete them all straight from this list. You just highlight and delete, and all of the logs will disappear. So if your character or item has unique names, you can use the scene tab and go down to their name and delete them. But it's a very long list of items, so maybe not your chosen method. Does that make sense to everybody? Giving an option, not necessarily the best option. Man, y'all are quiet. I am used to telling students to please mute all day long. You guys are just quiet. Okay, so we've placed characters. Objects are the same process. If you can't see them, which is kind of on purpose. I have a couple mushrooms sprinkled around the screen, and then I had my log sprinkled around the screen. They're exactly the same process of select it in your scene tab. It shows up in your scene editor, and you can place it. Yes.
When you use the Control-1 to get over to that part of the screen, what did you Control tab to so you could see the list of the stuff in your scene?
The scene tab.
Okay. And then it's a tree or?
It's a tree. It'll
Okay.
start with default layer 2D. You'll have a tree with cameras and then items, and occasionally some things will be under the items closed tree. Like right now I have monsters under the items tree. They're not part of the items tree. I don't know how it chooses those. That's a question I have for William. But if you
I was in the right place and I said I had no scene, but if I go to Control-2, I have my map. So I guess I'll try another Control tab.
that is also a glitch that they haven't figured out.
Oh.
How or why it's doing that. I had that problem a lot yesterday. I was looking at my scene, but it said I had no scene. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. We're good with our maps? Question mark? So I am going to leave my map, and I never trust my editor window to send me to the right pictures. So I'm going to use Control 1 to make sure I'm over in my projects side. And I'm going to Control Tab to the projects tab. And this is where we started eons ago with the name of your game. And it has 3 folders in this tree: resources, scenes, and source code. I'm going to open my source code and go to main.quorum and hit enter. And now I've popped over to my editor window. And instead of my scene, I have my actual code, my main class for my code. Does that make sense to everybody?
Could you repeat that one more time? The steps.
Sure. So Control 1 took me to my projects window, my projects pane. I did Control Tab until I was in the projects tab, because remember, this window has 3 tabs.
Okay.
I then used arrow key to, your game should have already been expanded. Choose the correct game name. You have 3 folders in this tree: resources, scenes, and source code. All of your written source code files will go into the source code folder. And then you can arrow down to main.quorum, select it with enter, and it will pop you over to the editor screen where it is all text. And this is where you write the physical code for your game.
Okay. Main.quorum. All right.
Yes. And of course, screen readers butcher words, but you should hear something along the lines of main.quorum.
I opened the wrong one. How can I close it? I opened the source code main quorum instead of the scene. No, is that the one you want me to open?
Yes, we're now
the source
looking
code
at,
main quorum?
yes.
Because I have 3 lines of code and it says integer A equals 3, integer B equals 7. That's not what I should have. Let me see.
That is not what you should have.
I know. So what did I do?
I think when you were doing online work with Andy yesterday, you may not have switched to the online compiler.
No, I didn't. No, I just did my map and my scene and I saved it and that was about it. And, but this morning I did work a little bit on getting projects. Okay, so projects, blank application, source, let me see, source.
So do you have 2 project names there? Or do you only have the one project? Like if I...
Blank application, blank scene. Do I need to go to blank scene application?
Yes. So what you have is 2 separate programs open.
Okay. Oh, I see.
We are working on the scene application. That's the name of your game at the moment.
Okay, could I close the blank application?
Yes.
So I don't have to see it. How do I do that on the tree?
If you've highlighted the main name of it, you can either right click and close it, or you can use your, whatever your menu key is on your computer, your keyboard. Go down to close. I don't really want to close because it's going to eat my screen, but I did it and see it disappeared.
Okay. What is the shortcut for the right click? Is that?
I am going to ask someone who uses a screen reader more often than me to answer that question, please.
The context menu key, and if you don't have one on your laptop, you can use Shift F10.
Okay, Shift F10. Yeah, that's what I.
Thank you, Art.
Thank you. Shift F10.
But first look to the right of your space bar, and you should see a square with lines through it. That's your applications key.
Yeah.
A standard keyboard, yeah, many laptops don't have it.
The new
Now-
laptops don't have it, yeah.
Yeah, and if you have a Dell laptop, a common key combination is the FN key and specifically the right control key.
Yep,
That's what mine is, yes.
yep.
Which is super weird to me, but that's cool.
Okay, so now I'm back. And now I'm going to open. So I'm now in blank scene application, and you want me to go to
source code,
source
open
code.
source
Okay.
code, and
Okay,
you should have main.quorum.
okay, I got it. Thank you. Yeah.
Now,
open.
as an aside for everybody, if you have multiple projects open and you've worked in multiple main.quorums, it has to be named main.quorum for Quorum to run it. So if I do Control-2 and I'm over in my editor screen, I have two tabs open right now. I have main.quorum and I have scene.qs. And I can Control-tab between those to flip between my text code and my visual code, right?
Yes.
If I were also, say, working on this and working on the Quorum website, I might end up with two main.quorum tabs, and you have to be careful that you've picked the right one. So if you end up with multiple project tabs open or editor tabs open, you can just close them however you would normally close a tab and clean that screen up so that stuff's not in your way. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes, yes, that really helped. Okay.
That's just an organization and workflow kind of tip. Okay? Not anything specifically in a lesson anywhere, just a tip. Okay, so where did you guys get to via movement yesterday? Because now we're all caught up on our characters. So where were we at yesterday with movement?
I would like to review that if it's not a problem. Otherwise, I can do it later, but I really would like to review it again from the beginning.
Yeah, we got to the keyboard listener, keyboard event yesterday.
And that was about it?
Yeah, so we haven't done the interface item 2D or the compute vector 2.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, we were just doing like moving up and down by a value of 50.
Yeah, okay, great. Great. Thank you so much for because I was off in Artland, and of course we were running what I thought you might be on, right? Kind of hard to know what the other class is doing at the same time. So I am at the top of my main.quorum, my code editing screen, which is where all of our libraries live. I have use libraries.game.game, right? They all start with use libraries, plural, right? Capital L on the library. Then we have use libraries game.scenes.scene. We have use libraries.system.file. And those all were in the template already when we first magically opened our code, right? Yesterday, you added libraries.interface.events.keyboard listener and libraries.interface.events.keyboard event, correct?
Correct.
So,
Well, I didn't, but I can do that.
You also have libraries, interface 2D, for the 2D item lookups. There's libraries.interface.item 2D for the scene lookup for items, and then the keyboard listener events.
Okay, I did say those two already. So we have keyboard listener, keyboard event. We need to make sure everybody has we're gonna put these libraries in first and then keep going down. So I'm going to read the library off from top to bottom on my screen, In this particular instance, the order of the libraries does not matter. Sometimes it does, but for basic games, it does not matter. So you should have libraries.game.game, libraries.game.scenes, plural, .scene, libraries.system.file, libraries.interface.events, plural, .keyboard listener. And on that one, the K in keyboard and the L in listener should be capitalized. And when we're using libraries, every single first letter, so after all of these dots, that word should be capitalized. That makes sense to everybody?
Yes. Did you say the board? So key is capitalized and listener is capitalized?
Yes. But board isn't, because keyboard is one word. Does that make sense?
Yes. Is it keyboard dot listener or is it keyboard?
No, it is
listener?
keyboard listener squished together.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Our next library that we need is library. And please, I'm sorry, put use before all of these as well. Use space libraries.interface.events, plural, .keyboard event, again, capital K, and then a capital E on event, squished together. And I hear typing, so I'll give everybody a second to catch up on that one.
Can we just type those out also?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't have to build them, because somehow my use libraries item 2D did not build yesterday because I was in the middle of an issue.
Oh, yeah, no, you can just straight type. You do not have to use code completion.
Great.
If code completion is playing nice and working for you, it saves you some typing. If it's not playing nice, you get to look stuff up and type it out.
Yeah, is it Control J that builds those? Was that the one that builds the libraries when you're on it?
I thought it was.
Yeah, it should be Alt Enter. Sometimes it doesn't work though.
Yeah. Oh, mine is considering me an error at the moment, so it won't build.
Libraries. So I'm sorry. I'm a slow typer.
You're good.
So use libraries, keyboard, listener.
Libraries dot interface dot events dot keyboard listener. Otherwise, it will not work. I'm also going to copy these and throw them into chat in case that helps anybody with spelling.
That's great.
I was literally about to do that, Amanda.
In case that helps anybody with spelling. And it's not using any apostrophes, so copy and paste should work fine for you. Okay, fine, I can't do that. There we go. And I say it that way because if you are copying and pasting code, there's actually two different types of apostrophes and two different types of quotation marks. There are artistic curly ones, and then there are ones that are just straight lines. And the computer will not read the artistic curly ones as a quotation mark or an apostrophe. It will read them as an image. Just so everybody knows. Sometimes you'll get something funky looking around your quotation mark, and that's how you'll know that you've done the wrong one, if you've copied and pasted. On the Quorum website, we've specifically used fonts that can copy and paste without causing that to be a problem, just so you know. So after keyboard listener and keyboard event, we need to add use libraries.interface.item to the number 2, D, capital D. And this library is what's going to let us access the scene.qs, access our visual scene, and pull items out of it to then write code to make them move around or burp or fly or whatever we want them to do. And then finally, to help with movement and make it smooth and pretty, we're going to need vectors today. So we have use libraries.compute.vector2 with the number 2. That makes sense to everybody? And I did dump all of those into the chat, so you should be able to just copy and paste if you need to. The spelling is hard.
So it's compute.vector.
Vector 2 with the number 2. We also have vector 3s, so.
And it is OR on the vector, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, I think Deanna.
And yeah, I'm sorry, Amanda, I'm really slow. And one of the things that, do you mind if you could copy paste that, all the libraries, and send that in an email to me to copy paste on my program? Because for some reason, I don't, it's giving me an underline, like telling me that I have an error, and for some reason I cannot see the error, and it should be a spelling or something, but I don't see it. And
I
so
copy pasted them into chat. Are you not able to pull it out of chat?
Oh, in chat. Oh, okay. Let me see. Just a second. Just a second. No, I don't. So let's tab.
I think they're there.
I need to go to.
Chat's hotkey is Alt H, by the way.
They're there. It's the last thing that's posted.
Okay.
Okay. So you mean I'm just looking for Zoom.
Oh.
I'm in my document, and for some reason I'm alt tapping to get to the Zoom. Assuming it's this one. Oh. What did I do? I lost you. I mean, I know you are here. I don't see the Zoom, and I don't see you guys. So let me minimize my screen just for a minute.
Sure. That happens sometimes. I
Okay,
lost the chat box for a second.
Okay.
If
Okay,
you alt
so
tab,
yes.
typically it will come to the top of your screen also.
Okay, I got it. I think that I needed to, I don't know what I did, but now I see it. Thank you. And then, so what I'm going to do is to go to chat.
Just Alt
right?
H and you'll open up chat. If you do an Alt H.
Alt H?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know why they chose H for that key, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And then Alt H for chat, and then somewhere in here you send us the
all the way at the bottom.
I see that. Oh my goodness, that's the way to do it. I like that. Thank you. Okay.
And then these are the 4 we need added for movement.
Okay. And control copy, and then I'm going to close this, and then I'm going to go into
And also, while she's copying and pasting, just a note, it did come up, or I've noticed it come up as I'm typing. So I'm just going to start typing like I'm going to add another library here. Use space libraries.
Okay, so that's okay.
As I'm looking at my screen right now, my use and my lib have been underlined red, which is the error, right? And
Yes.
I know when I was working with Art yesterday, his screen reader was buzzing at him. It's because right now, use lib is not a thing.
Okay.
Right? The computer is telling me that I have a compiler error, which means this is code that just won't run. Weirdly, it was giving us a spelling error notice. Odd to me, but that's fine on the screen reader. Not every error that pops up while you're working is a true error.
Okay.
So like if you know, yeah, okay, I got you, computer, quit being annoying. I need to finish writing libraries, and occasionally I can spell correctly. And as soon as I hit that dot, my red line jumped down to my next line of code. Because the computer now thinks that I somehow want to say libraries dot class main is game, which is again not a code that's going to run. Okay, so it has hopped over all of my comment that is under this section here. And that error is several lines down because that's the next thing the computer can recognize as being wrong. Which, Josh, is one of the reasons why, I think it was you asking about the error was jumping to like the bottom of your code. Because that's the only thing the computer can figure out to be wrong is that you're missing an end in your statement. But it may not be an end at the end of the code. It might be an end for a conditional or an action or something somewhere along the line.
Oh, right, yeah.
But when it's reading through it, it just goes, this is the next spot that's wrong. Error.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
In this library we're adding, it's the libraries dot interface dot. Should I also have the word event before the word compute?
Oh, so compute does not need interface. It is just libraries.compute.vector2d.
Ah, no wonder I got a compile error. Okay, I'll delete some
There you go.
stuff. Thank you.
Yep. All right. So more or less, we all have our libraries. Please tab or arrow or however you choose. Don't tab. Arrow or click down to line 16-ish, where you should have class main is game.
Yes.
Mine says class main is game, comma, space, keyboard listener. We need to add that comma, space, keyboard listener if you don't already have it. Capital K on keyboard, capital L on listener.
As one word.
Yes, as one word. And that, if you notice, is exactly the end of that library that we just called. So we're saying, please, computer, if you would, make my entire file here a keyboard listener. Just like before it, where we said main is game, we're saying, please, computer, make my entire file a game and have access to the game library. Does that make sense? That's what that line of code is asking us to do. Okay? Now, to complete adding our keyboard listener, because what that's going to do is it's going to say, while you're running, oh, master wizard computer, continuously check the keyboard for somebody pushing anything at all on the keyboard. That's what a keyboard listener does. The game will continuously check back at your keyboard while your game is running, right? And wait for something to happen. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
We also have mouse listeners and touchscreen listeners in Quorum. They do the exact same thing. Hey, I've got a mouse. Wait for it to move or click. I've got a touchscreen. Wait until you, however, touchscreens register pressure. Okay? So to complete our keyboard listener, we need to actually add it to the game. So please ignore my items on my screen. Arrow or hop or however you choose down to create game action. So action, create game. And I don't remember / couldn't make it work. Andy gave a key command for it to hop two pieces of useful information.
Hold down arrow.
It's Control down arrow.
Control Alt down arrow. Hey, it worked today. Sweet. So if I'm on my class main is game and I say Control Alt down arrow, the next thing I see is action main. not far enough. Control Alt down arrow, I've gone to Action Create Game. This is where I want to be. Create Game is where all of our static pieces of our game go. For basic terminology. Okay? In it already, you have file, colon, scene path, parenthesis, quote, scenes / scene dot QS, quote, parenthesis. And then load scene, parenthesis, file, parenthesis. Those 3 lines of code are what make the computer go find your scene image and use it in the game. With me there so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ignore my code because I'm ahead of you. So under that somewhere, please add the code, add keyboard listener with a capital A, a capital K, a capital L, open parenthesis, me, close parenthesis.
Can you say the number of the line, or when you say underneath that, what did you mean?
Underneath load scene parenthesis file.
Okay.
Anywhere under. So my code is now
Before the
different.
end?
Yes.
Okay.
My code now looks a little different than yours, so I can't really give you a line.
Okay.
So our lines aren't going to match up.
Okay.
So add keyboard listener, the open paren, me, M-E, close paren. So what do we think we just did? Again, Quorum is pretty intuitive, so you're probably right. What did we do, Denise? I saw you on mute.
Well, you said
Click on
enable
you.
physics, so we actually are enabling our objects to be moving around if the statement is true.
Well, okay, so you hopped a scene ahead of me. We just
I
added the
am.
keyboard
I've been
listener.
working ahead a little bit. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm just giving you crap.
I quote unquote been patiently waiting. Yes.
Uh-huh. I've been you. It's fine. So the line we just added was add keyboard listener me. So you're adding the keyboard listener, and in programming, when we give it the flag me or the parameter me, it means this current file. So this game, this class is the keyboard listener. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I saw. Okay, ignore what I said about enable physics to the
We're going to do that in a minute too.
Yeah, sorry.
So does that make sense to everybody, guys?
I think so.
Yeah.
We put so just to make sure. Hey,
Sure.
mine did something funky. Well, oh, so we go to load scene, file, and after the parenthesis on file, do we hit enter?
Yes, a new line. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I knew I was not specific enough about that.
And then add keyboard listener.
All squished.
Me.
All squished together as one word.
And the word add,
no spaces.
Okay. No spaces.
Is the add capitalized?
Yes. Capital A, capital K,
Okay.
capital L. And as was pointed out yesterday, it is not just the letters A, K, L. Those are just the capital parts of that action.
Add keyboard. It's still giving me a spelling error.
Spell listener right, because it's a weird word.
Yeah. Well, double checking that.
And then it will probably continue to give you an error until you do open parenthesis, me, close parenthesis.
I did that, and that's squished together as well.
Yes, that's all. It's all just one giant squish.
Hey, Amanda.
Yeah.
I just want to act like a kid for a minute.
Sure.
So when you add keyboard listener
Mhm.
and you put me in parentheses, I understand that that's talking about this game. Is there a circumstance where you would put you? Like, why? It seems obvious that we would be focused on this game.
Hey, student of CS down here at the bottom, Jeremy. Can you interject some CS to this for me? Because I don't really know the answer to that.
First I would need to know, do you know other things we can say besides me? I don't think it would be you, would it? Because you is so encompassing of other things. But like, what can we say besides me, if you know?
Would it be another class? Like, could I say keyboard listener and then if I add the class monster in there?
Oh no, that would make sense to me. I'm just trying to think of like how to explain it to
Hey,
kids.
I don't understand this concept either, so I'm getting Jeremy to teach me here right
Okay, here's my best guess. And note, I have never made games before, and I don't know exactly what you can put in the keyboard listener. But I'm thinking we're looking at one specific scene here. We're just building one scene, which is, I guess, me. It's the scene I'm looking at. But maybe, like, what if you hit a switch in one game and it's supposed to open a secret door in another scene completely? So you could add some sort of keyboard listener in this scene, which is like the lever or something, I don't know, that would change something in a whole other scene. So you'd need a keyboard listener listening in on this scene that's added to another, if that makes sense. That's my best guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think you are
Yeah,
correct.
that
Makes
that
sense.
makes
Yeah.
sense
Grain of salt,
to
though.
me.
I know,
Thank
like,
you.
in Java, you can also use this for some things to signify that it's this instance of this thing. So, keyboard listener me means me, this file right here.
Yeah, right here, right now, be focused on yourself.
Yeah, and exactly. And you wouldn't use you because you don't know who you is. You could be this scene, it could be next scene, it could be whatever.
Okay, thank you. That helps. I can just like hear the questions coming.
Uh-huh. Just tell them they're narcissists. It's fine. me.
Yeah. And they'll want to know how to spell that, Amanda, and that'll be a whole other like side conversation. So be egotistical, think of yourself, me, myself, and I.
There you go. All right. So while we're here, because we're going to need it eventually and your game won't run if you don't turn it on, please hit enter after the me parenthesis and add the line enable physics 2D, capital E on enable, capital P on physics, the number 2, letter capital D. After that, all squished together, you're going to have open parenthesis, true, close parenthesis. This is a little out of order, but it'll save us time later. And Denise already gave us the answer for this one. What does this do?
Want me to say it again?
You can, go for it. Or
Okay,
Leslie
so
can.
I actually
whoever.
put these two together. So an add keyboard listener me, as I am moving around, I am doing the keyboard action or mouse action. So then I'm enabling physics 2D as I'm taking my objects and moving around the board. And the statement has to be true, which of course, yeah, so it gives you the ability to move around the objects on your board.
Yeah, so what enable physics 2D is it's a Boolean. Did we talk about Booleans yet?
Yeah, we did yesterday.
Great, so it's a Boolean. Enable physics is either true or false. If it's true, physics work in your game. If it's false, physics doesn't work in your game. So you can still move your character around the screen, but like I had physics enabled on my logs that I had on my screen. And when I bumped them, they went flying off into space. And I stole that from Adam from yesterday because it looked awesome. So the physics enabled my log to go flying and react correctly to the force my character put on it. Okay, so enabling physics lets all of those properties on all of our tiles that are physics properties, right, the second half of the property screen, to work. Does that make sense to everybody? Default setting is that it's off or false. So this here turns it on to true. It turns on physics 2D in your game. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Now, I would like for everyone, once we have our keyboard and our physics, to go back up to where it says class main is game. Should be somewhere around line 16. Let me know when you get there. Are we good? Are we at class main is game? I'm going to go to the end of that line and I'm going to have hit enter a couple of times just because I like being able to see space between my class header and the next set of things that I do. Again, that is a visual convention, not necessarily needed for the program to run. And if you can see my screen, you can see I now have a list of things that start with the word item 2D. If you remember, we have opened the library up in our libraries of interface.item2d. That library allows us to manipulate all of our 2D graphics in our scene. Basic idea makes sense to everyone? That's the purpose of that library for us. It does all kinds of other things. For us, it's letting us manipulate our shapes. So I would like everyone to create a 2D object. So we're going to use our library name of item 2D, capital I, number 2, capital D. Okay, and some of you may already have this. This is going to be how we find our character and how we use our character to make him or her or it move. Okay, so item 2D. And if we think back to how we learned our variables, the primitive variables are text, number, integer, and Boolean, right? We can create objects that are very similar, not the same, but similar to those variables. And when we created those variables, we had to write text, number, integer, or Boolean in front of the names, right? Writing the word item 2D is giving this object its type. What type of object am I using? A 2D picture. Does that make sense to everybody? Now, I have done space and then the word player because that makes sense to me, right? My character is going to be player. So that's his name. And then space equals space. And here we need to write it as undefined.
I have a quick question, Amanda.
Yes.
So, so I labeled these, but I have, you know, like dirt 1, dirt 2, up to dirt gazillion. If you label it dirt, will it find all the dirt, even despite the number?
I actually need to change mine a little bit, but William told me that we have a contains command.
That's what I was thinking, like a
So
star or something like that.
yeah, it's not quite that, but I'm going to be playing with it a little bit today too, to get it to work right, because I want my game to make noises if you're on grass versus dirt versus water.
Right.
So it's, I actually don't even need the item 2Ds for those things. I need them separately. But yes, for like making it do a thing if you are on that kind of material,
right,
we have a contains command that will just find the name.
Okay, but Amanda, I expected you to know all this. You're doing such an incredible job.
So thank you. But see, you guys
you don't know that yet.
You guys started learning this Monday. I started learning this last Monday.
Well, you're doing phenomenal then. I thought you said you'd done it like 7 years or from the start or something.
Oh, but I don't know how to use the scenes.
Oh, okay. Because usually last star is star. Okay, I'm going to do some research right now to see if I can find out.
Go look through Slack. It's either in Learner or in support.
Okay.
That William was telling me how to do it.
Okay, I'll go look.
So you can do that. All right. So we've put our player in our class main because this helps with the scope of our game. When you create an object in a specific action, you create an object or variable in a specific action, it can only be used in that action. Okay? So I'm assuming that I want to use my character like all over the place, right? Make sense? So this is where you can define and create variables and objects that can be used throughout your whole code. Because it's in my class, but it's not in an action yet.
So you're saying class main is the entire thing, and then individual actions might be just individual interactions with that particular thing?
Yes. So, and that's great. That's a great question. So if we look at our file main.quorum right now as a piece of paper, okay? Our libraries go at the top, and remember that computers read top to bottom. So our libraries go at the top. It's the first thing that the computer's going to read, right? So it's going to open all those libraries first, which is great because we need them to make anything else work. And then it's going to hit the word class. And that is the name of this piece of paper. Okay? The piece of paper is its class. When I go through underneath class and I name a whole bunch of things, I've now hit them before I've hit any other directions, right? So the computer is going to remember all those variables and say, great, I can use these whenever I want. Now, innately in the organization of the Quorum language, the first action the computer looks for is this action main. Okay? It hops into action main and it reads the action start game. That is an action that people smarter than me wrote that tells the computer exactly how to process through all of our other actions and make our game work. Okay? So that's always there in a game file, whether it's a scene game, 3D game, whatever. Okay? When the computer hits that start game action, in that start game action, I happen to know the first thing it tells it to do is to go find create game. So I'm reading down, and as the computer, I hit create game. The computer knows, because again, those smarter people told it before me, to read all the way through create game unless it finds another action to do in create game, to the end of create game. Okay, it gets all the way to the end of create game, and it pops back up to start game. Because in the words start game, there's a whole bunch of code. All right, and it says, check, I did create game. What's next? Okay, and that's when it goes down and it starts using any of our other actions. The ones we have by default are the update action. And then we are going to add our pressed key action so that our game will play. So each of these actions are kind of their own little brackets or bubbles. And you can only do the things in that action that action says you can do. And you're stuck there until you've given it permission to leave. So if we create a variable in a specific action, it will only exist in that action. And as soon as you leave that action, it no longer exists. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay. So that's just kind of the flow of programming in general. Okay. All right. So we've made our player and we set it to undefined because, and Art and I learned this yesterday. Art and I learned a lot yesterday. I thought I was smart and tricky, and I went ahead and threw in the code to go check the scene and make my guy. And then I tried to run my game, and it yelled at me and gave me an error. Who thinks they know why? If I'm up here, before I've gone into any actions, telling the computer to go check a scene, why it has yelled at me?
Is it because you need an action to create or start before you can look at the scene?
Yeah, the scene doesn't exist. If I'm running top down of my page and all I know is libraries exist and all of a sudden I've told the computer to go find a scene, it doesn't know that scene exists yet. What I can tell the computer to do is here, set a little memory aside for this thing that I'll give you more information about later. And that's what player equals undefined means. Okay, so player's going to be a thing later, like pat, 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 little child, right? You're telling the computer this. Just hang on to him and use him later. Does that idea make sense to everybody? And if I'm going too slow or too fast, please yell at me.
Doing great.
I just wanted a clarification, like when you have, for instance, item 2D, water equals undefined. I noticed that in your programming, the word water is green. And when I tried to write my word, was black, it never turned green. Is the name water coming from the properties?
No, it's a great question. Visually, the names of objects will turn green if they've been created and instantiated. So your water should turn green if you then hit equals undefined. But while you're typing, it'll stay black. Like, let's just do it.
Okay.
Item 2D, fish. Ah! Mine turned green.
Okay.
If yours are black, Diana, you're missing an
black
someplace. Go
Can you
down.
say that again?
You're probably missing an end. I had accidentally done that, and as soon as I noticed my green words, because they were green at first, and then they turned black, and I realized I'd accidentally erased one of my ends. There's an end down below farther in the, you're almost right there. There needs to be two ends right there.
Okay, in the 78 and 79, or where?
Well,
What
it's
line?
going to be, remember,
It's-
she has a lot more code than
Okay,
you do.
okay, okay. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
the very end of your screen should have two ends.
Two ends. Okay, let me do that. Thank
But
you.
you were working in the listener me and the
So you probably ate it there. Yep.
the two, yeah, you may have
Oh,
actually
I see, in the listener, okay,
where we
listener,
were.
so somewhere in there, action end, okay, so yes, I can see only one end.
Yeah, you want to.
Okay, so the end that I'm going to insert is going to be tab, right?
Yeah, go, Amanda, go down 40, probably 47 or 48, right there. You probably
Okay.
accidentally erased, so go down to your enable physics 2D. You may have accidentally deleted one of your ends there. Because that's where you were just working.
Deanna, do you want to share your screen with me?
I'm embarrassed, but yes, I can. Let me show you what it is.
Don't be embarrassed.
Yeah, it's not, yeah.
Let me see,
we're all
I'll
learning.
tap, just a minute, you guys are so much ahead, much better than me. Let me do this, let me share a screen. And this is what I wanted to share.
If you want ever, Amanda, I can always do breakout rooms too.
Yeah,
but-
well,
yeah,
if it's a quick spelling error, I can do that.
Yeah,
If not,
Do you know what? I think, am I sharing? Oh, okay, no. Okay, one more click. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of, but it could be that I have other errors in there because I put item to digger and boy and rock and monster 1, monster 2. Is that?
nope. No, that's all fine. So first thing.
But monster 1, I didn't name it. I should say monster, right?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
None of that is the problem.
Okay.
Go down lower.
Yeah, go down. Right there. You
Yeah.
got an extra end.
Oh,
Take
right
out this line 36. Take out the end.
Oh, that's, okay, take this one out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But she needs two right there at 47. She needs another one.
No, no, she doesn't, because I had an if statement there.
Okay. And then this end.
That end is fine. He's just moved over too far.
Okay.
You should, yeah, that's fine. All right, you all click the yellow square on 28. It's trying to help you with something. No, it did not do what it wanted to do. Go up to the top of your screen to your libraries. What are we doing here? Libraries.
If you do a Control R, it will immediately tell you where the error is.
There's a dot on line 3. You accidentally added a dot past system. I think that's.
Aha! There you go.
Oh, look at that. And that is what do
That
I do
needs to
that?
have.
Take it up?
Nope, nope. You need to have the word file there.
Okay.
So after
File
system.
with capital?
Yes. There we go. Oh, we still hate something.
Yeah.
No,
class
don't
name
green.
right there.
Oh my
Class name
gosh.
thing. It's
Amazing. That's something. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Okay.
Hit.
no, keyboard is misspelled on line 17.
There we go.
So,
Yep.
Oh,
stick a-
yes. I forgot that. That's
Yup.
okay.
Sweet. Now you're good.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Oh,
And
it
then
still
there's
hates
another
you.
thing in here.
You
This one,
spelled-
enable. Oh,
You
physics
spelled
with a
physics
Y.
wrong.
Okay. I
And
see.
you spelled enabled wrong.
yeah.
Physics.
And then correct enabled.
ABLE.
Can you say that again?
ENABLE. You
Oh,
have
okay.
EBLE.
Okay. Thank you.
And lowercase t on your true.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, coding is very
Okay. Okay.
There you go.
Lowercase in the true.
Is there a rule to remember about when to uppercase and when to lowercase?
That's a great question. In general, actions, things that you want the computer to do, are uppercase. And they get a camel case kind of a thing. So each new word in the action is a capital letter. Does that make sense?
I think so.
In-
So like the main thing, the thing that's
Yes.
happening. Okay.
Yes. In general, variable names start with a lowercase.
variable
So-
name.
So player, monster, those kinds of things that you're going to use again and again. If you have actual variables like a number for the speed or something like that, the name of speed would be a lowercase s. Does that make sense?
I think so.
In
And then
general,
the true, so the true and the
true
false.
and false
the
are
true,
always
false, and the
lowercase.
false. Always
Things-
lowercase.
Always lowercase.
Okay, that's helpful.
So again, in general, things that you're going to put in parentheses, unless they're in
Lowercase.
quotation marks, are lowercase. Because
Okay.
quotation marks always, 100% of the time in Quorum, say, hey, computer, go find this exact phrase. So if whatever it's looking for was capital, then it needs to be capital in the quotation marks. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
So like when we use it here to find our scene file, because the folder scenes in my game is a capital S, and the name of the file scenes is capital S, they have to be capital.
Okay, that's
If-
very logical.
If you wrote them with lowercase, then they would have to be lowercase.
Got it.
Okay?
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Amanda, can I add something?
Please.
The Quorum website, if you go to libraries or if you just use the search feature, is spectacular for finding examples of things.
Yeah.
So my students are obsessed with libraries simply because I use like a Harry Potter clip from the movies where Hermione is talking about she went to the library to do a little research. And so that's
I
how
love
I
it.
got my kids excited about going to the libraries. So they always go to the libraries to check like the spelling and the capitalization. But I was pleasantly surprised about how much information is in there. If you just kind of explore and do searches, there's a lot of perfect examples that are working examples of programming. And I think that almost gets overlooked sometimes in Quorum. Because there's not always videos, it's text and you got to read it. But if you go and check that stuff out, it's a great resource. So don't forget that all of that is there.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Gina. All right. So we've all created a player or whatever up here under main now, yeah? Let's now navigate back to our action create game. And I am not sure why I've got the undefined garbage here. I don't really need it. I'm gonna change some things so it looks more like yours, because it doesn't matter. All right, now mine should be a little closer to yours with where things are placed. So that if you're following along on my screen, it doesn't look quite so foreign. So my action create game, which is somewhere along line 30, 31. That helps you, or use the Control-Alt arrow up and down to find it. Has the already there for us file, file set path, load scene. We added our keyboard listener. We turned on physics, correct? Everybody with me on that? Oh, stop it, computer. One moment. I am gonna beat you with a stick. All right, cool. Now, let's actually define our player. So, but remember, we made him. He's a thing. Computer's holding memory. But there's nothing in that memory, right? It's an empty box right now. Let's stick something in the box. So I do not have to redefine player. I don't need to write item 2D again because I already told the computer what player is, okay? So underneath my line, enable physics 2D true. I left an extra space. Again, that's just visually for me to help find things. You could squash them all together, your choice. we're going to write player, then space equals space, right? Space key there. And now we're going to use the action find item 2D by name. That is all squished together with a capital F, capital I, D, B, and N. Find item 2D by name.
Oh no.
Okay? And I will throw that particular, whoops. For some reason I decided to end my screen share.
Hey, Amanda.
Yo.
I just joined the wrong breakout room.
Could you go back into advanced?
Yeah.
So, Timothy, you should still have access in your little Zoom menu, like where screen share is. Are you a screen reader or are you a visual?
I think we got assigned to breakout room 2 because we went into a support session. We don't have breakout room 1 right now.
Okay, so that I can't fix. One moment. Hey, Tim Bluth, can you throw into Slack to holler at Andy about that?
Yeah, I just messaged him.
Great, so he can throw you guys back in.
Okay,
that's hilarious. Sorry about that, guys. So everybody else, we're working on find item 2D by name. And then we need to give it parameters. We need to give it directions. So you're going to say open parenthesis, quotation mark. Now, my player is the red mouth guy, right? So I have red mouth. Open quotation mark, red mouth, quotation mark, close parenthesis. Whatever your character's name is on your scene editor is what you're going to put here. So I'm going to, I can actually control tab at the moment over to my scene editor, right? If I'm in my main.quorum, control tab can kick me to scene editor. And I can use my arrow keys to look around and find my character. I select him, property window opens up, and I have his name. This is not the one I want. This is the guy I named friend. So escape out of it. Here's my red mouth. Just make sure I've named him red mouth. Oh, yep. Red mouth, capital R, capital M with a space in between. So that is the name that goes in these quotation marks. Does that make sense to everybody? Because you're currently saying, hey, computer, go find this item based on its name, right? So it's going to hop over to the scene editor. Well, your scene tab really is what it goes search for. And it's going to find that exact name. So whatever you have named your character is what you need to put here. And if you want to be a jerk and have a clod of dirt moving around your screen, it could be dirt 15, and dirt 15 is going to move around your screen with your key press, just so you know. It doesn't matter what you choose to make move. It's just this is what's going to move soon. Okay? Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm crazy. I mean, I know I'm crazy, but.
So I'm trying to find the name because I just picked one of the random girls.
Okay. So did you click on it?
Yeah.
Or
either one.
Oh, and then the other little, there is the window. Okay. It just wasn't showing me for a second there.
Sure. Got it? Great.
Thanks.
Anybody else need help finding their character? Good. Great. Don't worry about the fact that I have my friend also labeled. That's because I'm going to use him later. All we need right now is your player or your character. And then we are going to, once we're there, navigate down. You're going to have action update number seconds with an end under it. We're going to go past that line. And you're going to hit enter. And if you already have an action key press, that's where we want to be right now. Action pressed key is what mine is. Sometimes we say key press. You're creating this action on your own. So the phrasing is whichever one you want. So, let me know when we're here. Mind me, I'm cleaning up my screen.
It's giving me an error.
Well, quit breaking things.
Yeah, I know. But it's so much fun.
Just quit breaking things. What error do you got?
Okay, so I said player space equals space find with a capital F, item with a capital I, 2D, by name with a capital N.
Capital D and capital B there too?
Oh, capital B, no. Capital D, yes. Let's try the capital B. Ah, there it goes.
Fabulous. Guys, most common errors are spelling and ends. If it throws a red line at you, check your spelling. And by spelling, I mean capitalization as well. Like, that's usually the problem. All right. So, do we already have a keyboard to do the pressed key action made? Does everybody already have a pressed key action made? Or no?
No.
Yes.
Great.
We did a lot of else if statements yesterday under the press key.
Yes. Deanna, you're muted. I see your mouth moving. Don't hear words.
Alt A to unmute or Alt M, either one.
Nope, you're still muted.
Okay, so one of the things that I was doing is when I was on my map, I was clicking to get the properties of the gear that I had positioned, say, on dirt. And when I click on that, the properties of dirt will appear, but not the property of the gear.
You have to tab.
So I do tab.
Until girl shows up.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So so yesterday you guys moved things, if you have an action, by increments, right? Today we're going to look at how to move things by vector. So the action you need, here I'm going to throw this guy into chat too, if my computer will let me see my chat. It likes to hate me. So here's the name of the top of our action. It's action space pressed key with a capital P and a capital K, open parenthesis, keyboard event, space event, close parenthesis, and keyboard event is a capital K and a capital E. I threw that into chat if you would rather copy and paste. Now, did you guys use event yesterday, or did you guys use keys as your word?
Use that action press key.
Great.
Keyboard
So,
event.
and I'm just asking because this is it's an often created action, but it is a user created or a developer created action. This is not a standard action in Quorum. Okay. It's not the same as create game. Create game exists because those smarter people that made Quorum, like Andy and his students, created the name create game to always do the same thing. Okay. So in those parentheses, this is just a CS concept. Okay. Those parentheses are taking a parameter or an argument. They're looking for information. So what we've told them to do is to look for a keyboard event, okay? And a keyboard event connects to our keyboard listener, who's always sitting there waiting for us to touch the keyboard, right? It's then going to save whatever happened on the keyboard as the word event. So if I press my space bar while my game is running, the computer will go, ooh, space is now event. I go do a thing, right? It gets all happy and excited because it gets to work. Ignore my if player undefined. So this word event that we use multiple times in our code coming up is just a word we made. In some of the lessons in Quorum, you'll see the word key or keys used instead of the word event because it is a user-defined word. You could have it be WASD and nothing, it's fine. You could have that word event be whatever you want it to be. Now, programming convention, you want it to be something that makes sense, right? If I'm talking about an event that happened with my keyboard, the word event or the word key makes sense, right? If I put the word Bob there, it just doesn't make any sense. And the next person who comes to read my code is going to think I wrote it after the Threesies session, not as a sober individual, right? All right.
I've got a question.
Yes.
So I'm already looking at your code, and Andy had us write, and I think it's the same statement, but I'm not sure, so I've got to ask. Mm-hmm. So you got if event colon key code equals event colon left vector set, and then you put the vector set player, etc. Mm-hmm. And then he had us, and I'm thinking maybe we just did an action, but he had us write else if event colon key code equals 20, which is down arrow, output down arrow. So we wrote actions. You're putting your vectors to the character. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
And then is that event left like the same as just putting the number in? Is that the same kind of concept?
Yeah, I didn't know that there were numbers associated with the arrow keys.
Yeah, 20, 21, 22.
Yeah, no, yeah. I did not know that. So that is the exact same thing. Yeah. So arrow keys obviously have multiple names in Quorum. So the standard set of arrow keys can be left, right, up, and down in all camp, or apparently, thank you for teaching me something, they can be the numbers. Now, if I'm teaching my students how to code this, and we want it to make sense, and it to be readable across the board to multiple people, if I saw Denise's code that said event 20, I'm going to go, der, right?
Yep.
I'm going to look at you like you're crazy.
Like most people. Yeah, they're like, what? 2021 was that? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so,
well, that's the kind of moves. If you go to keyboard event and hit Control J, it opens up the list of all of the numbers, and then you can get them from there. But that way does make more sense that you're talking about.
It also lets you just use all of the letter keys because it's just that letter capital. So if you wanted to set yours to WASD, guess what? It would be event : capital W. So what we're adding, we do need to create our vector object here to be able to use vectors. Now, vectors are science, it's direction, also thought of here with a two director, it's your X and your Y, okay? These are the two different ways we can think about it, right? So I have capital V vector number 2, because that links back up with my compute.vector2, right? It's telling my type of object. This type of object is from that library about vectors. That makes sense to everybody?
Yep.
I just chose the name lowercase vector. You could have made it direction. You could have made it, I don't know, direction's really the only other thing that makes sense to me. But we understand where those words came from. Thumbs up, great. Now we're gonna go into our if, else, if block of code here for if a key is pressed, okay? So in Quorum, conditionals, which are if, else statements, use if, lowercase if, space, and then we're gonna say event, : and that is calling the event we made, right? Key code with a lowercase k and a capital C. I don't like it, it's a break in our convention, but that's okay. Equals event : and then I have left with all capital letters because that's how I knew arrows worked. I didn't know about these numbers. So if I press the left arrow key, is what I've just written, right? Hit enter for a new line. I want the computer to take my vector. So I write vector, VECTOR, : set, with a capital S, open parenthesis. Now I chose these numbers, okay? If I'm moving left, which axis changes? X or Y?
Oh.
X. And usually that's subtracting on my number line, right? If I'm going left, I'm going negative. So I chose a speed of -75 because I want my character to move negative on the X axis. And then comma, 0, because I don't want him to go up or down. Close parenthesis. Yes.
If it is this in is 0 on the number line at 0.0 on the grid where the camera is, or
no. This is so this is where it gets a little different because we're talking about the vector. So we're talking about force applied to our object in either the X or Y directions. Does that make more sense?
So our character is at 0 and
your character is wherever your character is, and he's static.
I mean on the number line you were just using as a descriptor. So left is negative, right is positive.
Right is positive. Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm applying.
And would it be the same for Y? Would up be positive and down be negative? Okay.
Yep. That's exactly what we're going to get into. Yeah, exactly. So really it's not, and we're not moving him 75 pixels to the left. We're pushing him with a force of -75, which is 75 to the left. And that's where it's a little weird, right? So yesterday when you were working on things, you were setting the X and Y coordinates and you just hopped pixel by pixel, right? Am I correct?
We did not
No.
do any hopping.
Oh,
We did not move yesterday.
oh, didn't move at all. Okay, well, Art did. Art's guy moves 32 pixels at a time because he hops from square to square. Okay? So vectors are like, we think of them as the coordinates, but it's not moving at 75 points. That's the amount of force being pushed onto it. Like I ran my game this morning with all these numbers being 50, and he was super stupid slow, and I was getting annoyed with my game. So I upped it to 75. He now moves faster because there's more force going against him in whatever direction I've pushed. Does that make sense? And that comes from our next line. So I've set my vector. My next line says player, set linear velocity, open parenthesis, vector, close parenthesis. So what it's taking is my negative 75, 0, and it's setting the linear velocity or force, right, onto my player. Does that idea make sense?
Nope.
Is that a yep or a nope?
Yes.
All I heard was the
Yeah, one yes.
Great. One yes is better than no yeses. How's everybody else doing on this, guys?
I think I got it.
Great. So that's moving left. I have if event colon key code equals event colon left or 20 or whatever weird mumbo jumbo you're using. New line, vector colon set, open parenthesis. The main thing here is if I want it to go left, I want my x to be a negative number, right? Comma 0, because I don't want to give him any force in the y direction. Close parenthesis. All that has done is set that variable name of vector to these numbers, okay? My next line is going to apply this to my character, to my player. And that's why I say player colon set, capital S, linear, capital L, velocity, capital V, and it needs a parameter, it needs information, right? It needs to know what it's setting. So in parentheses, I have the word vector. And I am going to tell my phone to be quiet. And I'm going to throw that bit of code into the chat so that everybody can have spelling and all that good stuff. Okay?
That's
now,
so cool.
Did something just move?
Yeah.
It's the best day ever when stuff moves. Okay. So our yeah, you know what, guys? Go ahead and end that statement in your code. So after player set linear velocity, blah, 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 do a new line and an end, and then another new line and an end, because we have to end our if statement as well as ending our action, okay? And then run your game and see if your person moves. Okay? If you cannot see your screen, you are welcome to share screen and I will verify for you that your person has moved or not. That is fine. I do that all the time for my kids because we haven't set any noise. You don't know what's going on. But I want everybody to end their if statement and end their action and see if this crazy thing actually goes left. Okay? Now I'm going to stop share for a minute in case somebody else wants to share, because I don't know if it'll let you break through me. And if you have an issue, let us know. Earl's worked. Yay! Did he run off the screen, Earl? Just kept going on forever to the left?
No, I implemented for it to kind of stop when I hit space.
Ah, ooh. Look at you being fancy. Yeah, mine's set so he stops when I lift up my key. So, you know. But if you only have the snippet of code I just said, your guy should run off the screen to the left. That is your expected behavior right now.
Is that because the force isn't stopped is why it disappears off the screen?
Yes. Did we ever tell it to stop?
I don't think I heard you say that.
Exactly. So we have told the computer, when I touch that left key, apply this force. And we never said, and stop when?
Yeah, I'm thinking we need to tell him to stop. He's or at least my girl is going to get whipping tired.
Yes, that is a process, is to make them stop. I promise that's coming. But it's kind of fun to watch them disappear off the screen first. You can also play a little.
I could copy that whole stuff because I did 2 different players, and I could paste it and then just put the other person in there, right?
Yes, and then both people are going to move upon key press of the same keys.
Yeah.
So you might want to pick a different set of keys to control the other person.
Oh, I could just pick a letter too. If I called one Dennis and one Sophie or Susie, then I could just use. Okay.
So Denise, just common in gaming, if you're not using arrows, people tend to use WASD as their directionals in video games, just so you know. If that was a thing that you've done.
Yeah.
My keyboard actually has them highlighted because I have a gamer laptop. So.
Oh yes, they are quite impressive. Yes.
Like I have my own, like the S has a
Amanda, I'm going to share
knob.
my screen because I'm having some difficulty.
Sure.
So let me see. Okay, just a second. Can you see it? So basically, something when I run it, it tells me that there is.
Yep, I see the problem.
Okay, tell me.
So your action pressed key is inside the action create game, which is not where we want it to be. So your line 49.
Okay.
Through your line 57, we want to cut and paste down farther down. If you highlight all of that, yep, go ahead and highlight that end, great. And then arrow down to keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah, so go up a line. Go to the end of that line. Nope, 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 not there. Not yet, not yet. Yeah, hit enter and now paste. So that was one problem. You also now need to add another end. So go ahead and hit enter. Oops. And end again, because that ends both your action and your if. And then you haven't defined your girl up top.
Okay. By name. Okay.
You need to put the parenthesis and the quotation mark and her name.
Okay. Okay, in quotation mark, right?
Yes. And is that the name you gave the character on your?
I'm going to have to, I tried, but I couldn't open it, so I need to go back and do that. Okay.
And you need to end your print. Yep. And you're missing one more thing in your key pressed action. So underneath your words of pressed key keyboard event on line 61, you want to go to basically to line 62. And write capital V, vector 2, space, vector. So now you've created your vector object.
Okay.
And you're not going to use the word player down here. You're going to use the word girl because that's what you've named her.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
There you go. And
let's try it.
Well, if Lilia exists.
Oh, that's right. I need to go. So I need to go to control alt tab. What was the?
So you need to be in your scene file, which you can either do control tab until you see it, or you can go up to the top and click scene.
Okay. I have here.
There's your scene. Okay.
Okay.
Now click your girl. Okay, now tab.
Let me move something in the window. Okay, so now tab.
Okay, so you are not on actually a box where she
Oh,
exists.
no, I'm not.
So you need to click somewhere else. You're now moving your dirt. So arrow down.
Oh.
Arrow down and hit escape.
Escape.
There you go. Now I would just arrow over to the right one. And now hit enter.
Okay.
And hit tab.
I hit tab. Okay, to get to the next one. Okay, got it. And that's
and there's girl. And her name is just girl at the moment. So you could use that or you could rename it to the Lilia.
Okay. Okay.
There you go. And now hit escape for it to save that.
Okay. And
now your game should run in theory.
Okay, so now to go to the game control tab.
Yep.
What is control tab?
And control R will run your game. Build successful.
You need an end under line 49. Did it?
Okay.
No, she's good.
Oh,
her
no.
Her end is just down on 51.
Yeah.
So your grade, your game screen isn't showing to me, Deanna, but is it on your computer?
Yes, it is.
All right, push your left arrow key.
Okay.
Does your girl?
Yeah,
there
to the left,
go.
yes.
Correct. Wonderful.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay, so let's see. Control R for run. Again. For some reason, it's not running.
Because the other window is still running. Did you actually close
Or
it?
Alt Tab, see if it's in the background, because it might be in the background.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So this is the one. Okay. So let's Control R. No, it didn't run. It gave me a built-in. Let me.
Alt Tab, it might be behind the window. If you sit on your Alt and Tab, it might be behind the window. Just sit on your Alt and Tab through the open windows.
Yes. I'm
Close the
doing
original
this, and
game.
that's kind of where I am. Okay, so let me put them. I don't want to hold people.
Okay, and you need to stop screen sharing so that I can take it back because I'm only a participant.
Okay.
Did she close her original game window?
Yeah, Deanna, you have to close the original game window. It won't run 2 copies at the same time.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, yeah. Great. Did everybody else get run into the left?
I still have an error and I can't find it.
Can I throw you in a breakout room with Mr.
Yes.
Jeremy?
Yes.
Oh, I can't. Never mind. Just show me your screen. I don't have breakout room privileges. Andy hates me. I can't see your screen, dear. Good, but not that good.
If you want to practice more, you can do right down arrow, right down arrow, right down arrow, right down arrow, left, 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 right down arrow, right down arrow, left, 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 right down arrow, right.
What? Niece, hush you.
Sorry.
All right, I see your vector should probably be made in your keyboard event. So line 41, move it down to underneath line 43. Might be a problem. Might not be a problem. Ella, if I know.
No.
So while we're doing bugs here, you guys all know how to move left. Your next step is an else if statement, squish together, and try to make yourself move right. Okay, that's your next task. And then also up and down, all similar aspects. You are all intelligent individuals. The one thing you may not know is that you're using else if, and that it does not need to be ended each time. This is not like Java where we end stuff every time we sneeze. By the way, I hate Java. So it'll be if, event key code, blah, 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 vector, blah, 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 player, blah, 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 new line, else if. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. What do we got going on here?
So it doesn't like my action, press key.
Okay, you are all over the place. Yeah. Okay. So go. What did you do? I see what you did. Your action pressed key is inside your create game action, which it hates. So from action pressed key down to vector, cut all of that, and you're going to paste it down towards the bottom of your work.
Okay. Including the end?
No, do not include that end. Leave that in.
Okay. Leave that end. Okay.
Because it'll end your create game action for you.
Okay. So I want to stick it.
Go all the way down to the bottom of your file.
Oh.
So you've got action, update, an end, and an end. You have 2 ends at the bottom of your file. Stick it between those 2 ends.
Stick it between. Okay.
And then you're actually going to have to move your vector up because you've currently declared a vector after using it, which is going to be hateful. So move it up to the, well, move him up.
The vector to vector?
Yes, put him right under the words action pressed key.
Okay.
Apparently vector is a boy, so that's cool.
Oops, I don't want the end. Okay.
How's everybody else doing on moving in other directions?
I have a quick question. So my right, left, and down works great, but when I hit up arrow, it closes my program. So I'm rearranging things right now, trying to figure out why.
Do you have a crash error in your compiler on your main Quorum Studio page?
I did not. I do now because I've been rearranging things, so I've got something off, but I did not.
Interesting.
I know, right? I know. I hear ya.
That one is not an easy one for me to fix. So yeah, have fun with that.
Okay, that's what I'm doing. That's what
Learn
I'm doing.
to debug.
That's right. I'm learning. I am debugging right now, figuring out what the issue is.
Okay, that made some of it happier.
Yeah. You're missing an end.
An end.
Yeah, stick another end under the end. That should make the rest of it happier, unless you've got a spelling error.
Oops.
Now you do.
Now I do.
Isn't it fun?
I'm typing one-handed. It's weird. No, that didn't help. Oh, shouldn't this? Why are you unhappy? What'd I ever do to you?
All right. Look at vector. I see. In your line that is action key press key, event keyboard space event. I think you've got a period there. You don't need a period there. Yay, it likes you now. All the red.
Oh, yay. Okay, so now I get to see thingy happen. So
if you do Control R is run.
Control R.
Oops, I lost my Zoom screen. All right, guys, I am declaring a 15-minute break. Because
oh my gosh, thank you.
Because I need one. I love you all. I need a break. So I'm going to stop.